Hey guys, I'm Prodigy from Airsoft Team Kilo23. Welcome to another Airsoft review. Today we're going to be checking out the JG G36 RIS. Now, this gun that I have next to me is actually, it's alright. Now, I could go for it. I'm a fan. I like G36s, but personally I prefer M4s over them. This G36 is a great mix between the G36, the standard series, the folding stock, and all that good stuff, and an M4. So if you guys are looking for some kind of amazing miracle mix between those two series weapons, this is a good gun to look at. Now, obviously in the review I'll talk about all those features later on, but let's go ahead and start with just the basics of the gun, what it comes with, how it feels, stuff like that. The gun isn't super heavy, it is actually very balanced. Even with this large metal rail system on here, I believe the rail system is aluminum, but to be honest I'm not 100% sure because it's a Chinese-made gun. It is actually really balanced. It does have a metal buffer tube back here which does help to balance it out. So it is not super heavy. I'd say it's about maybe 7 pounds or so. It's a good lightweight for you guys who are a little smaller wanting something that's a slightly lighter weapon to deal with. Now, as far as comfort, you know, it feels good. It's got a very, very wide handguard. Even though it still only fits an 8.4 volt mini type battery, which is like, you'd think something a little bigger would fit in this big rail system, but it doesn't. So I really recommend a PEC box or a battery bag or something. You got rails here, so use them. You know, this thing, honestly, it's extremely comfortable to me. It feels very good. I'm going to be keeping this gun for quite a while. I'm going to be putting a lot of upgrades in it, making it a very, very field amazing gun. So, talked about the gun a little bit. Let's go over what the gun comes with. Then I'll put the gun down on the table and we can check out all the awesome details of this thing. Now, the gun does come with the basics. You get your little cleaning rod. It's a good length for the barrel that's in there. You get the magazine winding tool, which this is really only useful for JG mags and similar mags, because those mags have a little hole in the side with a hex key thing, and you can wind them. It's kind of stupid, but whatever. You get a little bag of some .2s. I really don't recommend using these. These are pretty cheap. I have had these actually shatter inside the chamber before, and it causes some damage, so just toss these. You get your little wall charger. It comes with the mini type Tamiya connector. Just throw this out, guys. Go spend the $30 or $40 and get a basic wall charger if you're a beginner. Please do not ruin your battery. And, of course, it comes with an 8.4 volt mini type 1100 mAh nickel metal hydride battery. So this is a decent battery. I'll probably put a Dean's female connector on here so I can actually use it in other guns. I currently have a Dean's adapter on the G36 right now, so I will convert this over so I can actually use it, because this is actually a decent, usable battery. Now, the gun will come with this massive instruction manual. I actually haven't looked through it because I know how to use the G36 through and through. If I can take it apart, then I can use it. So, you know, guys, if you really don't know how to use an airsoft gun, then you probably shouldn't be using them. If you're really new to it, this is a really basic guide, but just look up somewhere else how to use the gun, please. It also comes with a target in the back, which is like a one-time use thing. You gotta put 20 rounds through it and it's pretty much gone. Finally, the gun comes with an M4 300 round high-capacity magazine. Like I said, this gun is a good mix between the M4 and the G36 series, so this will come with a M4 mag because it comes with the M4 style magwell. So this is a good mag. I've always liked JG mags. They feed pretty well. They carry the usual 300 rounds, so this is a good item right here. Metal construction, you know, nothing bad about it. So let's put the G36 down on the table and we can check it out. Now, I'm going to be as honest as I can about this gun because it is a pretty low-cost gun. You can buy it at Airsoft GI, evike.com, airsplat.com. Pretty much every airsoft site carries a version of the JG G36. So no matter what version you buy, it's going to be about the same thing. This is just the version I picked out from airsplat.com. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the stock and move my way down the gun. The gun does come with an attached crane stock, and this is actually a really nice feature. It does wobble around a little bit. But, you know, that's nothing a little bit of electrical tape cannot fix. It is a pretty smooth stock. There isn't really a lot of texturing on it, but it is still pretty comfortable on my cheek, which I really like. Now, it does actually come with an attached rubber butt pad. You actually can remove this. It's not really glued on in any way, which that's really nice. It does kind of slide off a little easily, so if you guys wanted to actually stick there really well, you might want to super glue it or something, or put some kind of putty there. But it's a really nice feature. It's actually very comfortable. It will fit on other M4 LE or crane stocks, so it's a really nice touch if you want to just have that as an extra feature on a different gun. Also, you can see here that it does have a quick detach sling point on either side, even though the gun does not come with any quick detach sling loops, so you guys can buy those separately. Now, the stock actually can hold a battery even though the gun is wired to the front to the handguard. So if you guys want to rewire this thing or buy some low resistance wire that's wired to the back, I really highly recommend it. It's much easier to deal with a crane stock, in my opinion, than it is to deal with one of these G36 handguards. They can be kind of cumbersome, so a crane stock is much, much easier to deal with. The buffer tube, as you can see here, does have the cutouts there, so it is a lot easier to deal with the wiring as far as where to put it and stuff. So it is compatible with a rear wire system. You guys just have to implement it. Now, I really wish the stock had the ability to fold on this version of the gun, but it does not. It's very solid, and basically to remove the gearbox and get inside the gun, you actually have to remove the stock. The easiest way to do that is actually to tap out the hinge pin. It's really not that difficult, and it's pretty easy to work with. I really just wish it had a folding stock, but hey, what can you do? You also have a rear sling point here. This comes on all G36 series guns, so it's a bit of a plus. Just a heads up, the gun does not have a forward sling loop at all. So you guys can either use 1-point slings here, or you can go buy an external sling loop and throw it on the rail system on front. So if you want to use a 2- or 3-point sling, you're very welcome to. The selector switch can be a little finicky. If you press it down just a little bit here, it looks like it's in semi, but it's not. You have to press it down a little farther, so it's like hitting 2 clicks. Now it's in semi-automatic, so it's kind of a weird system to work with. It takes some getting used to. I know when I'm on the field playing and I click it once, I think it's in semi, but it's still on safe. So I try to pull the trigger, nothing happens, so I gotta hit it once more, it's in semi. I hit it one more time, it's in full auto. Full auto, I've never had a problem with. Semi, again, as long as it's in the correct semi-automatic position, I have not had a problem with that either. Now, the magwell is not the standard G36 magwell. The mag release here doesn't work at all. You can't even press it. So don't even try to stick a G36 mag in here. It won't work. This is designed for the M4 series magazines. Like I said earlier, it does come with an M4 M16 mag that's a high cap and holds 300 rounds, plus it's metal, so that's great. The magazine does wobble around quite a bit in here. I've noticed that's very inherent with these M4 G36 magwells. So, you know, a little bit of electrical tape can fix that, or more like a lot of electrical tape. It's really your choice, guys, what you want to do with this. I'm personally sticking with the M4 magwell because I've got like 30 M4 mags, so I could just go through those one after the other on a field and not have a problem. Now, the charging lever and the hop-up system, they're completely team compatible. It's just like any other Tokyo Marui, Classic Army, SRC, TSD, all those other very similar Tokyo Marui based G36 series guns. To access the hop-up, simply pull the charging lever back, like so, and you've got the hop-up wheel there. You can adjust that pretty easily. I've noticed the hop-up isn't super effective on this gun. You might want to get a new nub or a new bucking on it. But that's just my opinion. It probably works fine with .2s. When you go to .25s, you really got to turn the hop-up on pretty high for it to even work. The sights on this gun are just like any other G36C. You got the rear flip-up sight. It is adjustable. You got a small and large peep aperture. And at the front, you just have a little loop there. The peg there is not adjustable at all, so it's just a regular old front sight. And between them, just like every other flat-top rail for the G36, you got this long monolithic rail, so you can mount just about any optic there that you want. Now, the rail system on this gun is really where it shines. You get a full metal rail system. I think it's either aluminum or a pretty nice pot metal. Either way, it's a rail system. It's a huge plus on this gun, and you get it for very little extra money on just a regular old G36 platform. It does store an 8.4 volt Minary battery, just like any other standard G36C rail system or G36K handguard or whatever. So you're kind of limited still with battery space, but you've also got all these holes along here. They very easily fit a connector and a wire out them. So you can fit a battery bag or a PEC box on the outside. You obviously have all this rail space on here, so you can do whatever the heck you want. Now, before I go any farther, you guys are probably asking about these rail panels. Those are mine. I put them on the gun. They do not come with the gun. There's just some old G&P rail panels that I spray painted that I had lying around. Now, I just want to point out that it was kind of a pain to get these on. These rails are a little larger width-wise than most other rail systems are. I could not fit one of these rail panels on the bottom, nor could I fit a standard vertical grip. I've got a couple of vertical grips that just slide on the rail. You're going to need one that clamps onto the rail itself if you actually want to use a vertical grip. Now, amazingly, this does come with a mock suppressor, which is great. This thing is very easy to disassemble. It's not glued onto the barrel at all. No parts are glued in here except for the plastic orange cap here, which I actually spray painted about 20 minutes ago, and it's just drying now. This looks pretty good to me. I honestly do like this. You can actually disassemble it. It is hollow, and you can put foam in there. So if you want to have a very dampened shot and you don't want to buy an aftermarket suppressor, this is a really good route to go. Otherwise, you can put a longer barrel through there if you want. The gun does come with a standard 247 millimeter G36C barrel, even though this is a G36K length gun. So you can either put some foam in there, you can leave it stock and just go with that, or you can put a longer barrel in there, whatever floats your boat. Now, I believe that's everything as far as aesthetics. Let me just talk about the internals of the gun real quick. If you really want to see the internals, there's an episode of Inside the Mech Box on the Airsplat page on YouTube that'll be up pretty soon, I'd imagine. I'll go over all the internals and I'll talk about the parts I think you should upgrade. So that'll be up soon. If you're watching this video and this video's been out for months and months and months, then it's already up and you guys can go check that out. But as of uploading it, it's not up yet, so you guys are going to have to wait a little bit. It does have a pretty good mech box internally. It does need some tuning. It does need to be reshimmed and regreased, and I highly recommend getting at least metal bushings for it. Otherwise, this is a really great gun. It shoots about 350, 340 FPS, but don't take my word for it. Let's go over to the chrono station right now, and we can chrono the gun using .2s. Now, I know, I've got the same old tired, does not work anymore chrono hardly. But you know what? Sometime around Christmas, I'll treat myself to getting a new chrono, I hope. So let's go ahead and chrono this thing. I got it hooked up to an 11.1 LiFo battery, using 0.2 grams to chrono it. Alright, it's a little lower than I remember it being. When I got it stock, I was shooting about 340-ish pretty consistently. Now it's down to about 320 to 330, so I don't know if the spring just broke in or it's gotten some kind of crazy, stupid air leak. But about 320 to 330 is what I'm getting with .2s right now. Alright, now, what do you guys think? I personally really like this, the M4 kind of mixed with the G36 design. I'm all for it. It feels like a really great gun. Before, when I had the orange tip on here, it really looked like a toy. It was pretty dumb looking, but once you spray paint that over, it looks a little more realistic. This looks, feels, and it performs like a pretty decent weapon. Now, as far as upgrades, you know, obvious things, metal bushings, probably an M110 or 120 spring, getting to shoot a little hotter would probably be the best thing. But stock, it's an alright gun for you guys that just want to go run out on the field and shoot people up for a couple games. It does come with quite a bit. You know, the battery is decent for the gun. I really just recommend getting at least a charger if you guys are totally new to this. But it's an alright gun. It's really for you guys that just are starting out in Airsoft and you want to get something that's cool looking and it's different. Or you're an upgrading guy, a tinker of some kind who's really just going to spill a couple $100 into this gun right away. So this is a pretty fun gun to have. I'm really happy I got it. I'm probably going to upgrade the heck out of this thing, so it's not going to be the same gun by the time I'm done with it. So that'll be really fun. Thanks for watching, guys.